Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Tasos Kilimos. Happy to be joining you guys for another edition of NBA Player Prop Parlay right here on the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your day is off to a fantastic start. We have a new day, which means a new NBA Player Prop Parlay that I am excited to share with you guys. But real quick, guys, a quick recap of last night. Now, look, there's no sugarcoating this. We were off the mark last night, 0 for 3 on our player props last night. That is a loss, unfortunately. Like I said, there's no sugarcoating it. There's no running from it. I think a good gambler is somebody who admits their losses just as much as they celebrate their wins, right? You can't sit here and celebrate your wins and I put the glasses on and the money gun if I don't at least be honest with you guys when we have a bad night. We had a bad night last night, 0 for 3. A little bit of data. We're all about data here on the show, though, because I have seen some people maybe jumping ship, maybe calling my picks crap. Hey, listen, everyone's got their own opinions, but real quick, some data. Just in case you guys, if you're new here, maybe yesterday was your first video, I don't want you guys to be afraid. A little bit of data because we're all about data here on the show. First fact, these are all factual information. We are up over 19 units in the last 2 weeks in the show. That's a fact. Number 2, I have recorded over 45 player prop parlay videos so far this season. That is the second time in 45 videos that we went over. Okay, that doesn't happen very often. Like, that's, again, second time, only the second time this year that we went over on a video. Usually we always hit at least one leg, if not all of them, right? And the third and final fact, we are hitting our player props at a 78% hit rate this season. I've given you guys 171 props. We've hit on 133. So that's just real quick, just to let you guys maybe calm the nerves. Again, I apologize for last night. It happens, unfortunately. But again, we have been on the money all year long. A tough loss. Let's get over it. Let's move on. New day, new NBA Player Prop Parlay. Let's get into it. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Again, bad night last night, but we're on a new day. Here we go. First leg of a 4-leg bounce-back parlay. We are targeting the Rockets-Pacers game, which kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going with Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers over 12.5 points. I'm going to go ahead and kick this over to the Outlier screen. Guys, you know what Outlier is. They're the sponsor of every NBA Player Prop Parlay video here on the channel. Link in the description below, 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. All the data, everything that you guys see in this video is available to you if you sign up with the link below. So here we go. Tyrese Halliburton, first leg of our 4-leg parlay. Now, this is very similar to a couple props that have been given out lately, including like the Garland prop last night, the Mobley prop on Saturday. This is a player who was on a minute restriction coming off of an injury. However, I do like the spot here. Now, the data here is a little misleading because obviously, 13 or more points. He's scored this and he's hit this in 90% of his games this year. 35 out of 39 games he has cashed this over. And yeah, pre-injury, he was, top 5 MVP caliber player. You know what I mean? Like, he was having an unbelievable season prior to getting hurt. So it makes sense. This line, it's lower because he's on a minutes restriction coming off of an injury. This line normally would never be this low. So I'm trying to buy the value while it's still there. Now, it worked on Saturday with the Mobley prop. We just missed by 1 yesterday with the Garland prop. Trying to buy on these players or the minutes restriction because of the new NBA rules where they have to play 65 games to be, an award recognition, all that stuff. You're seeing these players, even when they're on a minute restriction, even when they're hurt, playing at least 20-plus minutes. So we like the spot here for Halliburton. And honestly, even on the minute restriction, he's been hitting this. Look at here. He's been since January 30th, so he played the last 4 games. He's been back from injury. He's cashed it all 4 games. Now, it's close, right? 13 points versus Boston, 15 versus the Knicks, 14 versus Sacramento, 17 in their last game versus Charlotte. You see, it's pretty close in all those games, but he has hit this in each of his last 4 games since returning from injury. And again, 90% hit rate on the season. You look at the right side of the screen here, the Rockets defensively versus point guards. Now, they are pretty good defensively, right? But here's why I don't really care too much. Because you look at the head-to-head matchup, each of the last 3 times that Halliburton has played the Rockets, he has cashed this number, including the one time they played this season on December 26th. He had 33 points. Now, he did that in 37 and a half minutes. However, he had 33 points. I think he's good. He's been playing. So you look back here at the minutes played for Halliburton, you see 22 minutes, about 22 minutes, 21 and a half, 20 minutes. He's been playing around that 20-minute line. This is now his 5th game back. I'm expecting him to play probably upwards towards 25 minutes at least, right? I'm expecting him to get, this is his 5th game back. He should be getting more playing time. His playing time should increase. If he plays 25 minutes, 13 points should not be that hard for him to get. He had 33 points in 37 minutes to get. All we're asking for is 13 points here. Again, solid defense. I mean, the Rockets are a good defensive team, but he already scored on them heavy the last time they played just like a month and a half ago. So that is the first leg of our 4-leg parlay. All right, guys, second leg of our 4-leg parlay. This is actually going to be a same-game parlay. So this is a DraftKings exclusive. So if you're betting in DraftKings, it's going to be a same-game parlay X. Again, not sponsored. They just give the best player prop options here. We're sticking with the Rockets Pacers. We're going with Pascal Siakam over 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists player combo. Now, I typically don't do same-game parlays a lot, but I just love this spot way too much to not bet on it. You look at Siakam, he's hit this in 9 of his last 10 games. He's been fantastic since joining the Indiana Pacers. 90% hit rate since joining Indiana. And when you look at his last 20 games, now half of this is with Toronto, half of this is with Indiana. He's played 10 games with the Pacers already, but in 17 of his last 20 games, he has cashed this line, 85% hit rate. And on the season as a whole, 65% hit rate, 32 out of 49 games. You remember early in the year with Toronto, he had kind of a rough start, but especially since joining Indiana and then kind of the end of his run with Toronto, he has been red hot in covering this line. It is an alternate line, so the odds are a little bit juiced. You see here on DraftKings at minus 195, but we're putting in a 4-leg parlay, so it works here. And you look at the defensive matchup here versus power forwards, the right side of the screen, the Rockets, not very good. They are bottom 10 in all 3 of these statistical categories, giving up about 26 points, 11 rebounds, and just shy of 5 assists per game to opposing power forwards. It's a great defensive matchup. It's a line that he's been covering crazily of late. Again, 9 of his last 10 games, all with the Indiana Pacers. He's played 10 games in Indiana, 90% hit rate since joining the Pacers. I love this for the second leg of our parlay. That's why I stuck with the same game parlay. So that's leg number 2 of our 4-leg parlay. All right, guys, third leg of our 4-leg parlay. We are moving away from that Pacers-Rockets game into the Mavericks-Nets game, which kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going with Kyrie Irving. I hate to bet on him. I'm not a Kyrie guy. Actually, I'm not. LeBron and Kyrie are my two most least favorite players. You like the LeBron suck shirt. You got that in Boston. Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. Now, this is an alternate line. It is a little juiced. But, again, we're trying to get a bounce-back hit here. Kyrie has hit this in 9 of his last 10 games. You stretch that data out to his last 20, it still looks good. 75% hit rate, 15 of his last 20 games. And if you look at the entire 2023 season as a whole, 61% hit rate, 17 of 28 games. He had a little bit of a rough start early in the year, but he has really come along of late. He has been cashing this number at a much higher rate. We're not asking for too much. We're asking for 23 points here. And when you look at the head-to-head data, Kyrie has faced off with, now this game, don't look at the left one. That's when Kyrie was still in Brooklyn. But he has faced off with his former team once since being traded to Dallas, which was this year on October 27th. He had 17 points. However, this is his first game back in Brooklyn since being traded off of the Nets. I expect that in his first game back in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving will have a big game. I think he has got something to prove. I think there's a lot of people in Brooklyn that probably are not big fans of Kyrie, kind of similar to everywhere he's left in his career. I think he'll have a big game. You look at defensively, the right side of the screen versus point guards. The Nets, bottom 5 of the NBA. They give about 26 points per game to opposing point guards. Again, one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA versus the point guard position. Like I said, I'm not a Kyrie Irving fan, but when it comes to data, you can't beat it. Kyrie Irving, again, he's covered in 9 of his last 10 games, 75% hit rate his last 20 games. Bottom 5 defense against point guards. I really do love, and it's a revenge game spot. You got to bet those revenge game spots. Kevin Durant, he just played. He had his return to Brooklyn not too long ago, and I didn't bet it then, but he had a big game against them too. So betting the revenge game spot here for Kyrie Irving for the third leg of our parlay. All right, guys, here we go. Fourth and final leg of today's parlay. Comment 9 down below if you made it this far in the video. Thank you very much, as always, for watching, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Here we go. Fourth leg of our 4-leg parlay. We have old reliable John Collins. If you watch my videos, you know he has been my favorite player to bet on this season. I have hit so many props betting on John Collins. Here we're going with him over 19.5 points plus rebounds in the Thunder Jazz game. And again, the data is very strong here. He's hit this in 8 of his last 10 games, including 7 in a row. He's hit this in 7 consecutive games, 8 of his last 10 games. He stretches his data to his last 20 games, 16 of his last 20, 80% hit rate. You look at the 2023 season as a whole, 79% hit rate, 37 out of 47 games this year. He has cashed this over only 10 times this year. In 47 games played, has he failed to hit this line, and he's usually pretty close even when he misses. And maybe most importantly, in the one time they played Oklahoma City this season, not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, on January 18th, he crushed this number. He had 21 points and 4 rebounds versus OKC. If you look at the right side of the screen here, the defensive matchup. Now, OKC, overall, not bad. They're actually almost a top 10 team defensively, giving up just shy of 113 points per game. Pretty good defensive team. Rebounding, they are a bottom 5 rebounding team in the NBA overall, giving about 45 rebounds a game. But what we're focused on here is the center position. Now, John Collins typically lines up as a center in this team. Lauri Markkanen starts as the power forward. John Collins starts as the center in a lot of their lineups. Versus the centers, OKC, not particularly good, right? Middle of the road in points allowed, giving up about just shy of 19 points per game, and they are bottom 5 in rebounds allowed, giving up 13.3 rebounds per game to opposing centers. So overall, we have a solid defensive matchup here. You already cashed this line once versus OKC not too long ago. I love this. Again, John Collins has been a fan favorite here on the show. That is the fourth and final leg for today's parlay. All right, guys, look at the right side of the screen here. Here is our 4-leg parlay. Again, just a quick little recap. Pascal Siakam, over 29.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. Tyrese Halliburton, over 12.5 points. Those picks are both in the Rockets-Pacers game. Then in the Mavericks-Nets game, we have Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. And in the fourth and final leg of our parlay that we just mentioned, in the Thunder-Jazz game, which kicks off at 9 p.m., is John Collins over 19.5 points plus rebounds. Now, because it's the same game parlay, the odds don't show here. Normally, they would show. I already bet this myself. Now, just to let you guys know what time I'm betting this. It is currently 10:05 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, I just literally bet this right now just to make sure it is the closest to the time that I'm recording. I got it at plus 462 odds on DraftKings. So if you bet it right now, again, that's at 10:05 a.m. I know the lines move and change. As of right now, it's at plus 462. Not half bad. 4-leg parlay, little bounce back spot for us here after a really rough night last night. Thank you for sticking around, guys. Again, sports bettors are very much like NBA players. You have your off nights. That's why we got killed last night, honestly, because Spencer Dinwiddie and Jonas Valanciunas both couldn't get the ball in the hoop. They had an off night. It happens. But overall, we've been on the money all year long, and if you guys have been with me, you know I do give you guys some winners. So thank you very much for watching, as always, guys. Until tomorrow, when we're back with a new NBA Player Prop Parlay, I hope you're all winners. Have a good one, guys.